So I will be speaking in support of the need to get this bill passed through Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Taking into consideration, of course, the serious content issues raised by the Bills and Legislation Committee, which I believe are appropriate for consideration during the committee stage of this meeting, Mr. Speaker. So in doing so, I will confine myself to the merits and principles of the bill as required under Standing Orders 48.5c. Mr. Speaker, when a bill is moved for debate on the second reading, we only confine ourselves to the merits and principles of the bills, not the detailed content of the bill. That's for the Committee of the Whole House. But so in saying that, it is heartening to see the committee appreciating the importance of this strategy, and to be treated with a statement by the chairman and the leader of the opposition on the thinking, Mr. Speaker, that went into the recommendations that are captured in the report now before the House, Mr. Speaker. That, sir, is a positive message, Mr. Speaker. I would like to see it that way, and I advise the government to take advantage of that positive message, sir. The purpose of all Parliamentary Standing Committee reports to Parliament, Mr. Speaker, on government policy matters intended for Parliament consideration, sir, is to assist members to appreciate the policy intentions of the matter, and to ensure that the matter that the government sought the approval of Parliament does not contravene the national constitution, and that all the necessary procedures and processes are complied with, Mr. Speaker. As we know, sir, there are three stages in the process of passing a bill. The bill has passed through the first reading, of course, and now considered in the second reading, where, as I said earlier on, Mr. Speaker, the focus of Parliament attention should be on the merits and principles of the bill, Mr. Speaker. And I do not see any reason why, sir, this bill cannot be passed in the second reading, because, sir, my understanding of the issues that the Bills and Legislation Committee is concerned about are content issues, not the merits and principles of the bill, Mr. Speaker. The committee actually walked the extra mile in their scrutiny to provide a second eye, and that's good, Mr. Speaker, on the policy intentions of the government, and so this is to ensure that the policy intended for the good of the country, as elaborated, I think the chairman himself touched on this, that what is good for the country actually lived up to that expectations, Mr. Speaker. So the chairman and his committee are doing their work, Mr. Speaker. See, 61 of the 72 recommendations are therefore concerned directly with content issues. There are suggestions of drafting improvements and cautions on the implications of the bill on existing laws, and a clarification of the roles of the lower levels of government in the implementation of the policy. Questions are also raised, Mr. Speaker, on how the people of this country will benefit, Mr. Speaker, and I acknowledge the presentation by the Minister of Finance this morning. The responsibility to clear the air on these matters, Mr. Speaker, lies with the government through the minister responsible for the bill. And I think just a suggestion, Mr. Speaker, to make life easy for all of us, considering the 72 recommendations, Mr. Speaker, says that the response report on the matters raised be produced by the ministry and place before Parliament, before the committee stage, because that's really up to the government, Mr. Speaker. If you want life easy for you, everyone, Mr. Speaker, so that we know the minds of the government for this one. So, and in saying that, I acknowledge the excellent explanation, Mr. Speaker, provided by the Minister of Finance on the main content issues raised, which are very, very helpful to Parliament, to appreciate the policy rationale, Mr. Speaker, behind the specific concerns raised by the committee. So, subject to the issues raised by the committee and the government's response, of course, I personally have no problem, Mr. Speaker, with the bill. It is really comforting, Mr. Speaker, to know that a strategic policy that took nearly, and not only 15, Mr. Speaker, and you'll be surprised to know that nearly 25 years. Nearly 25 years to think about. It was a policy that nearly took us 25 years to think about, eventually made it to Parliament. Eventually, Mr. Speaker. This House does not have any problem, Mr. Speaker, with that, and in fact fully acknowledge that fact, Mr. Speaker, and the commitment of the government and the Permanent Secretary and his staff, Director of Fund for investments, foreign investments, or the staff is fully committed now, Mr. Speaker, to do the work. And by the three ministers now, the Deputy Prime Minister, the current Minister of Finance, and now the current Minister for pushing down this matter to Parliament, Mr. Speaker. And so we need to appreciate that. I mean, congratulate government for eventually bringing him come to very, very, very important and a strategy to Parliament. And what a relief, Mr. Speaker. It is about time. So the bill, as we tell him already, or more appropriately, the thinking behind this bill has been around for ages. Mr. Speaker, a testament to the fact that our people, Mr. Speaker, need to be to properly understand what it is about in the setting of a country, Mr. Speaker, that is pretty much aligned to the attitude of protectionism, Mr. Speaker, because of a very close traditional attachment to our land and resources, Mr. Speaker. And this is completely understandable. So, in the context of Solomon Islands, when it comes to major projects. Sir. Many people see the attitude in the negative, Mr. Speaker, and as anti-development. But this Parliament, Mr. Speaker, see it differently. Land and resources found on them are our only form of security and source of livelihood, Mr. Speaker. What people believe. And so this attitude, sir, is understandable. Solomon Islands, sir, is made up of tribal land-owning groups who claim their very existence by virtue of their ownership, or more appropriately, custodianship of every square inch of land and resources found on land in this country, including, Mr. Speaker. And in Miharam this morning, and this all of red light there too, Mr. Speaker, including alienated land, Mr. Speaker. Let's not count our eggs first time there. Issues there too, alienated land. Every square inch of this country, customary land, including alienated land in this country, is owned by people, Mr. Speaker, original tribal owners. If this is not a problem, Mr. Speaker, we should not have any problem with the leavers' land. Mr. Speaker, that should be, come on, and register here, so we go. No, my sir, we struggle right now. Really struggle, Mr. Speaker. So not taking lightly the issue of land, both customary and alienated land. So that is an important consideration, Mr. Speaker. Actually, in the land reform that the government is undertaking, Mr. Speaker. And we look at the reform that actually addressing alienated land and customary land. So if it's no issues of alienated land, by reform you're not touching, Mr. Speaker. But it does touch alienated land as well, sir. So, we are Solomon Islanders because we literally own Solomon Islands. So, unlike other countries where land and resources are owned by the state, which it can do whatever it likes with them, including encouraging private ownership as a fundamental mode of economic organization. Mr. Speaker, land and resources in Solomon Islands, Mr. Speaker, are more than factors of production. So, rather, they establish a person's root in the tribal group that claim custodianship of the land and resources, Mr. Speaker. You remove a Solomon Islander from land and resources, and he or she will become a stateless entity in custom, Mr. Speaker. I'm a Solomon Islander now. Also, that is how serious, Mr. Speaker, it is. And so in pursuing this policy, Mr. Speaker, we should not take the land issues lightly, Mr. Speaker, and as I will bring this issue back in the concluding remark, outstanding reforms that are still started to make this strategy work, Mr. Speaker. And so one can, I guess, understand the time it takes to work on this bill. So just a bit of background, the making of this bill and go beyond 2015, Mr. Speaker. Go beyond 2015. And by way of background, the idea was already mooted in the year 2000, when all that the Junub government under my leadership was thinking about at the time, Mr. Speaker, was how to deal with the 13 points demands of the people of Guadalcanal, Mr. Speaker, which carries a consistent message, Mr. Speaker, of the need to decentralize development to other provinces. That is where this whole idea started to moot it up 25 years ago, Mr. Speaker. And this, sir, had been a slap on all Solomon Islands governments since independence, Mr. Speaker. It had to take a revolt in year 2000 for us to come to our senses. Our ultimate goal is to go outside of Honiara and urban centers, Mr. Speaker, not only in locations close to Honiara. This is a challenge. A challenge, very big challenge. The only people who can assist us is our development partners when it comes to the construction of important supporting infrastructures, Mr. Speaker, and we need to tell them this is a serious strategy, Mr. Speaker, and please help me with me or this pipeline infrastructure program that they stuff around, Mr. Speaker, realign them. So, and I want to remind this Parliament again, Mr. Speaker, not to take the demands lightly, Mr. Speaker. We tell them that one again and again for this Parliament, Mr. Speaker. You know what? Why? It took $21.3 billion, Solomon. $21.3 billion Solomon Island dollars of Australian and New Zealand taxpayers' money over a period of 14 years to pull this country out of the mess that we ourselves created, Mr. Speaker. All the demands, Mr. Speaker, regardless of how they are worded, sir, have serious development messages, especially the call for decentralization of development behind it, Mr. Speaker. And I'm emphasizing this point because I'm beginning to see some carelessness now, Mr. Speaker. I'm a little bit careless about it. I'm start with distancing myself away from what position taken the periods leading to year 2000, Mr. Speaker, on issues about land and development on Guadalcanal, which causing the country to collapse in year 2000, Mr. Speaker. So those are something that they should register on mind really as leaders, Mr. Speaker, not to take it lightly. Not to take it lightly. And this strategy is right inside now for addressing this issue, Mr. Speaker. And what we are, as a country, now what we are, as a country now, is expected outcome designed to be so by at the time you may become independent, Mr. Speaker. We took over a highly centralized government system, Mr. Speaker, from our colonial masters, and instead of working on a development decentralization strategy from day one, Mr. Speaker, we emphasized political development. and the consolidation of political power in the central government, and with it, development of major infrastructure attraction of, and attraction of FDI onto the island of Guadalcanal, Mr. Speaker. We designed that after independence. We designed that. And what do we expect? What do we expect, Mr. Speaker? Oneira, and for that matter, the island of Guadalcanal, becomes more attractive to all Solomon Islanders. That's the song. Guadalcanal sweet him everyone. Come here, Mr. Speaker. Well, it turned out, it turned sour in the year 2000 when the people of Guadalcanal reminded the Solomon Islands government that Solomon Islands is made up of 9 provinces. That's a message that comes out very powerfully, Mr. Speaker. All with unique opportunities that can contribute to the development of the country. And I guess what I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, is that the adoption of the special economic zone, Mr. Speaker, a strategy is part of a pool of strategic policies, policy responses to the over-centralization of development, and therefore the serious need to set in motion a strategic private sector-led approach to develop our areas of strength in other provinces and to ensure that lasting peace is attained. And in addition, Mr. Speaker, to development objectives, it is also a serious peace strategy, Mr. Speaker. The other strategic policies include the establishment of the Ministry of National Unity, Reconciliation and Peace, to work on the strategies to consolidate our fragile peace process. And this ministry, Mr. Speaker, loses its focus when ecclesiastical affairs and traditional governance were added to the portfolio, Mr. Speaker. I'm losing direction now. That's it. The other strategic policies, Mr. Speaker, is the creation of the Ministry of Rural Development and Indigenous Affairs. It was originally known. We established that in 2006, Mr. Speaker. And that is to aggressively address the active participation of the rural populace in the development of their land and resources, and to work on formulating Indigenous people's right strategies and policies as a response to Indigenous issues raised in the bona fide demands, Mr. Speaker. To demonstrate government seriousness, 1/3 of the development budget is allocated annually to fund this program through the Ministry of Rural Development, Mr. Speaker. So this is not a simple, isolated strategy, Mr. Speaker. It is not, and we really need to appreciate it that way, Mr. Speaker. In addition to the summary of the development objectives outlined in the objects and reasons for the bill, Mr. Speaker, it is part of a conglomeration of policy mix and strategic actions to consolidate our fragile peace process. So, yesterday, following where the GNUP left, where I left, Mr. Speaker, in 2001, the policy was picked up by the Kamikaze-led NCPU government in 2001 to 2005. The Minister of Commerce then appointed a task force in around 2004, and Mr. Speaker, I was privileged to chair that task force, Mr. Speaker, and to recommend a model to the government, Mr. Speaker. And our report looks like this, Mr. Speaker. And we submitted this report to the government then. But sir, nothing was heard of the policy after that. So when the country went to the polls in 2006, Mr. Speaker, in 2006, the Grand Coalition for Change government, GCCG, under my leadership took office. And the first thing I did, Mr. Speaker, was to revive the policy. And I think the member of Central, the current Minister of Foreign Affairs is the Minister of Commerce at the time when we revived that policy again. And unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, we were voted out in 2007, Mr. Speaker. So From then on, Mr. Speaker, the policy went into hibernation for nearly 10 years after that, and only resurfaced again in 2015 under the Democratic Coalition for Change government, again under my leadership, and continued under the Solomon Islands Democratic for Change government in 2018 under the leadership of the member for Small Malay, Mr. Speaker. It was picked up again in a serious way by the Democratic Coalition for Change government, DCGA, in 2019, again under my leadership, and continued under the current GNUT government under the leadership of the member Fakir Ogran. Why am I saying all of this, Mr. Speaker? Well, the fact that it is around all these years, Mr. Speaker, demonstrates the importance of this policy. Very, very important. And we must not care less about it. And must go through the Parliament now, Mr. Speaker. And I want to congratulate the GNUT government for finally bringing this matter to Parliament. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The bill, Mr. Speaker, has come through a lot of changes from the comprehensive exclusive model recommended in the first place, Mr. Speaker. My only concern there, Mr. Speaker, but I'm comforted, Mr. Speaker, is the changes could water down the attractiveness of the model, that we may find ourselves not able to attract genuine high-quality investors that the strategy is aiming to attract into the country, Mr. Speaker. But in looking through the bill, I'm set, Mr. Speaker. Whether the model recommended, Mr. Speaker, is hybrid or a comprehensive exclusive economic zone, the minimum requirements that the government must take special consideration of in the formulation of an appropriate model for Solomon Islands include these issues. The country's obligation to the global cooperation as a member of the international community of nations, Mr. Speaker. We must take into you must concern about, Mr. Speaker. Also, the effective participation and benefit by Solomon Islanders, the respect for the country's sovereignty, also issues, our obligations under World Trade Organizations and various free trade agreements, Mr. Speaker, issues of unfair competition, land issues, we need to talk about infinite cost of government, Mr. Speaker, cost of utilities, availability of important infrastructures, effective government control of ecozones without undermining the objective of the strategy, and of course revenue consideration, Mr. Speaker. And I comforted, Mr. Speaker, I saw these things picked up in this bill, Mr. Speaker. Whilst the world, and this is another thing that I want to really congratulate the government, and thank you very much for designing this thing that way, sir. While the world, Mr. Speaker, is moving away from government-managed structures to private sector-led, Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to see that the model recommended for Solomon Islands under this legislation also makes provision for the government to take the lead if it can secure funding under BOT, BOOT, and arrangements and any other arrangements, Mr. Speaker. The government can actually take the lead, Mr. Speaker. The involvement of indigenous landowners, Mr. Speaker, is a must in all cases where the zone is located in customary land. The possible partnership include landowners in private sector, landowners, government, and then private investors, provincial government, national government, and then private investors. Provincial government, national government, and landowners. Those are different partnership arrangements that can happen, Mr. Speaker. So it needs to be brought to attention of this House, Mr. Speaker, that the model carried in this bill is not comprehensive, exclusive economic zone. So that's a big difference here, Mr. Speaker. Big difference. So, like in looking at other countries that are also implementing this strategy. But of course, our closest neighbors, where the ministry visiting, maybe this is a models that probably, these are models that suit us, Mr. Speaker. So, this is a serious deviation from the standard models, which are more attractive to investors in terms of incentives that investors are looking for, and also entitled to in the economic zone. But the full range of incentives provided in other advanced jurisdictions under a comprehensive exclusive economic zone model, Mr. Speaker, including duty and tax exemptions, special residential status, bank and offshore financial services, no restrictions on the remittance of after-tax profits and other earnings, free port services and specific zones inside as well to special economic zone, shipping and shipping registers, air transport and airport services, defense and security, special immigration requirement, security of land and tenure, provisions of port security and other security arrangements, degree of autonomy, and quick processing of special, simple government requirements through a one-stop shop arrangement. The minister mentioned this morning, which is from what he informed this morning, it is possible for him to come up with that kind of arrangement, Mr. Speaker. I don't me time for look the bills to which specific sections now makes it alarm that's going to happen, Mr. Speaker. Also, sir, the application and the approvals procedures must be simple, easily understood, and facilitating instead of the process becoming a pretext of scrutinizing interested developers, Mr. Speaker. And also, sir, both the government and developers must demonstrate seriousness in the process. So, as Imi Haram this morning, a good incentive regime, Mr. Speaker, is one that does not subject what the investors are entitled to under the discretions of responsible ministers. That must not also, sir. And this is for very, very important reason, Mr. Speaker. Predictability of business success based on known incentives that affect profitability and certainty of investments are very, very important to investors. They want certainty, they want predictability. Mr. Speaker, and the Leader of the Opposition raised him a little bit this morning, that's the issue as well. So, but the incentive package under the model recommended in this bill, Mr. Speaker, may only cover tax and duty incentives and does not extend to other areas that are granted under comprehensive exclusive economic zones, Mr. Speaker. And apart from the need to look at the feasibility of establishing a one-stop shop arrangement for the processes, Mr. Speaker, I have no problem with the level of incentives offered under the model and the arrangements to provide the other services, Mr. Speaker, that by the economics or the investors inside the economic zones will also need those services, Mr. Speaker. As noted above, the other services are offered outside of the economic zones, and examples of these are shipping registry, security of land tenure, special immigration requirements, air transport and air services, defense and security, remittances of after-tax profits and other earnings which are subject to other laws and processes and not built inside this will act that I'm stop before you, Mr. Speaker. I think the scheme of arrangements here, Mr. Speaker, that all these other services, other incentives will be provided under other laws that in the country, Mr. Speaker. And this is understandable because so we cannot pretend to be able to attract technologically advanced investment that require properly trained manpower to support the investment under a comprehensive exclusive economic zone. Mr. Speaker, the country at this point in time just does not have the required level of technically qualified human resources like Singapore, for example, to support that kind of investment, Mr. Speaker. But I struggle a little bit. And I note, sir, that the incentive package includes exemption from income tax of foreign employees engaged in the economic zone. Well, that is understandable. So if the country does not have appropriately qualified human resources to support the kind of investment in the zone. But I did raise another important question, Mr. Speaker. The question, of course, is if we eventually have a pool of properly qualified Solomon Islanders, Mr. Speaker, the incentive will have to be subject to the non-availability of trained human resources in the country. But I take it that the incentives will be around for 10 years no more, Mr. Speaker. For this policy to work for the benefit of Solomon Islands, Mr. Speaker, our target must be to attract investors that will invest in our areas of strength, which includes agricultural development, inshore fisheries, and tourism development, just to mention a few, Mr. Speaker. These are outlined in Clause 7 of the bill. They can also benefit, of course, from the various free trade agreements that the country entered into with our development partners, Mr. Speaker. An important point to note, Mr. Speaker, is the functionality of the hybrid structure recommended for Solomon Islands under this legislation. That in itself, Mr. Speaker, will not be able to successfully achieve the policy objectives intended to be achieved under the SEZ strategy in isolation of other serious reforms, Mr. Speaker. And the government's attention is drawn to that, Mr. Speaker. There is a lot more work that needs to be done by the government in terms of the transformational reform in order to make the strategy work, Mr. Speaker. The government must complete the following reforms, which are very, very, very important, Mr. Speaker. One is tax reform, sir. The bill is still talking about a number of tax bases that will be abolished, Mr. Speaker, will be abolished under the comprehensive tax reform pursued by the government, Mr. Speaker. Goods tax by abolished. Some for import duties and what the excise duty by go now, Mr. Speaker. Sales tax by go. But they are picked up in the incentives. They were outlined in the sense of Schedule 2 of what incentives here now. You remove that, Mr. Speaker, there goes incentives. There goes. Mr. Speaker, so maybe in the Committee of the Whole House, we would like to understand what the thinking there, Mr. Speaker. And in its place, the tax reform, Mr. Speaker, is proposing the adoption of a broad-based consumption tax modeled on VAT. Now, the question, I guess, is how will VAT work in the economic zone? It's not very clear, Mr. Speaker. Now, the nature of VAT, Mr. Speaker, is not paid by the businesses what business people will start inside the economic zone, Mr. Speaker. It is passed on to the user of the goods. More simple. So there you go. They don't pay that. The VAT is gone. And more simple. So then, if you abolish more what the tax here, goods tax, and all these things to go, and probably the only thing that left there, Mr. Speaker, is the company tax, which by enjoying for maybe exemption for 10 years. And more simple. So that's good. They don't need to pay the other taxes because we are abolishing more, which makes Solomon Islands more attractive more now also, Mr. Speaker. So whether that crossed the mind of the government, Mr. Speaker, when we actually incorporated in the Schedule 2 of the bill, or the taxes that will be abolished under the comprehensive tax reform that the government is pursuing, Mr. Speaker. Me say also because the purpose of removing these taxes is precisely the same reason why investors in the economic zone are seeking incentives, Mr. Speaker. The introduction of VAT, which is considered a fair tax outside the economic zone, may remove the incentives elements that taxpayers in the economic zone are supposed to enjoy. So, there is also the need, Mr. Speaker, to start thinking about how the special taxation regime recommended under the proposed federal system will apply to the economic zone, Mr. Speaker. The new federal constitution, I'm taking up some very, very serious taxation issues, Mr. Speaker. So start look at that one too. How now by affecting the investors inside the economic zone. There is an implied intention, Mr. Speaker, also in the federal constitution to introduce resource tax. How will that affect the investors in the zone? is probably another question that we need to think around. Reform on the energy sector, I'm going to wait this time, Mr. Speaker, and we may heard from the Minister of Finance this morning that yes, that it is impossible, and it must happen, Mr. Speaker, because the cost of electricity in this country is just basically killing itself. And so, with the reform that the Minister of Mines is putting through, in addressing that very area, Mr. Speaker, should separating regulator and provider of services, and also allow, Mr. Speaker, for investors in the economic zone to provide their own electricity, Mr. Speaker. That's the only way by cutting down cost. Otherwise, this is going to be killing and really disincentive. So, using this same this is the law that applies to all others in this country. Land reform must continue, Mr. Speaker. Land reform is very serious, this one. This reform must be brought to its conclusion sooner than later, Mr. Speaker. The model suggested by the Commission of Lands is what the government has adopted, Mr. Speaker. The reform looks at customary land and alienated land, and the availability of these types of land for development have their unique challenges, sir, which the reform is endeavouring to address, Mr. Speaker. So quickly bring him that one. That's why reform goes. So they're looking clearly how not buying work, Mr. Speaker, so that you may address him, bring him or the investors to alienated land, and how we deal with him with customary land, Mr. Speaker. And the reform that is suggested by the Commission and the Minister will be driving it, Mr. Speaker, and by our niceness. You will see our landowners or traditional landowners will actually allow their land for development. And so it is important that reform come through. So I think the other last issue is the work on the federal system is still ongoing, sir, and these zones will be established in the jurisdiction of state governments. What or any powers that the state governments will have over the economic zones is probably a very important question that you will grapple around with it. As we hear from the Minister of Finance this morning, this is work in progress. You may passing this bill, then all issues like this now, by you addressing, time you may carry out more further consultations on standing policies that are ongoing, how not by affecting this was very important strategy, Mr. Speaker. So that's all I want to present to the Parliament this morning. Apart from these issues, me got no problem whatsoever, Mr. Speaker, to oppose this bill, and it will get my affirmative vote when the vote comes around. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.